Good morning. It's already a hot day on Neptune, so I'm here in my command center, and today I'm going to show some things from my collection with punk rock, starting with this huge book, extremely heavy, a great resource. It's draining in my voice as I'm trying to hold it, filled with amazing pictures all the way through. Great thing to have. Sid there, Vicious from the Sex Pistols, the John Travolta of punk, as he's been called. I forget by whom. Maybe Malcolm McLaren. And punk was as much a visual art and fashion movement as it was a musical movement. So even though Sid really literally couldn't play bass, he still remains one of the central figures of the whole scene. So what I'm going to do here is organize this video. A lot of shaking there, sorry. I'm going to use this as my basis to show you what I have in my collection. This is a box set from the early 2000s. I love the title, No Thanks, the 70s Punk Rebellion. Put out by Rhino. Rhino put out a lot of really good box sets for a long time. I don't know if they still do, but a lot of my collection is from Rhino, which I think is a division of Warner. So what's on this box set is it's an anthology of punk artists. And like most names for genres, punk is almost really meaningless because every single one of these artists has their own distinct style. And then here's the booklet with liner notes on all the artists' pictures. There's Sid, a bloody mess. And so it's a 4 CD set, and what I did was I pulled out what's in my collection that coincides with what's on this set. So there are some artists on here that I would totally disagree with being called punk. And down here, there's The Cure. Talking Heads is on there too. Blondie, Susie and the Banshees. All those bands had their roots in the punk movement, and maybe a few of their early songs are kind of what you would think of when you think of the word punk, but they all moved on quickly, I think, to other sounds. But it's interesting anyway to see that the curators of this set felt like they belonged. So I'm going to go in the order of the way they're listed here, starting with the with the Ramones. Okay. Greatest hits album from there. I saw the Ramones twice back in the 80s. Once was an outside show at SUNY Buffalo, where I got into the mosh pit in front of the stage there and held my own, but my friend Jim, who I went with, clutched to me like a baby monkey hanging on to his mom. So I got him out of there. He's a smaller guy than me. And then the second time was Bill with Bjork's first band, Sugar Cubes, and then Debbie Harry's solo set at an outdoor show with Smitty and the girls. So that was a good time. So Ramones first on the list. I'm going to get rid of this here. And then here's The Clash, London Calling, classic double album. Their follow-up, Sandinista, classic triple album. Not much of the music on these Clash albums I would call punk, really. A lot of dub reggae and other types of sounds. But obviously one of the most important bands from the punk movement. There's a lot of anthologies of the Clash. So here's one. Here's a good one. Clash on Broadway, a 3-disc set. And this is a CD that came along. It came out as a promotional CD with another collection of theirs later on. I've got some interviews in between the songs. And then the Clash turned into Big Audio Dynamite, or some of them did. Here's Mick Jones, the leader of Big Audio Dynamite, guitar player and singer for the Clash. I guess they would be considered a post-punk band if you had to put a label on them. Great stuff on this CD. A lot of, what do you call it, clips, audio clips from movies, westerns, and things. A lot of fun music on there. And then here's a greatest hits of Big Audio Dynamite. Then the next group in my collection in order here is the Jam. Paul Weller, one of the 3 members and founders of the Jam, then went on after the Jam dissolved to form the Style Council, and then has had a lengthy solo career ever since. So this is a 4 CD box set of his work. Came out in '06, it looks like. And it has work with the Jam Style Council in his own work. This is the Jam. Here's Weller. Jam, I can see calling them punk. Frankly, most of their early stuff sounds exactly like early Who. So I guess the Who are punk too, even down to the look. The mod suits that they're wearing here is a tribute to that scene and that sound. And Weller himself is sometimes called the Mod Father. He's revered in England, all but unknown, I think, here in the States. But he's considered kind of a god of the last 40 years of music there. So this is a great collection called Hit Parade. He continues to release music. This is not too recent, maybe from 10 years ago, but it's a Paul Weller solo album that I made the disc for. There, I called him the Mod Father. Okay. All right, and then next, Iggy and the Stooges. Really considered proto-punks. Songs like Search and Destroy, Raw Power. X-Ray Specs, a female-led group. This is Polystyrene and the boys. X-Ray Specs also had a saxophone player, which was kind of a unique addition to their sound. This is the greatest hits of theirs. No, wait. It's their first album, Germ-Free Adolescence, which is essentially a greatest hits. They didn't have much of an output, really, but some extra songs on here. This is a great band. A lot of fun. Then there's Wire. I like how they introduced the members here. Colin has black hair. Robert is 6'3". He's got blue eyes, and he weighs 9 stone, 6 pounds. This is I don't know if it's their first album, but it's definitely a classic. All really short, fast songs. Very taut sound, as befits their name, Wire. It's called Pink Flag. New York Dolls, another early punk influence. New York band. David Johansen, later to become Buster Poindexter in the 80s. Raw sound. Then Generation X was Billy Idol's band. I don't have any of theirs, but this is Billy's first solo album. I saw him up in Toronto with The Cult as his opening act. Billy seemed very drunk, fell down a lot, but a great show. And then this is one of the few surviving artifacts of my old LP collection. This was his second album, Rebel Yell, which I bought when it came out. There's Steve Stevens, his guitar player. And this one just filled with classic Billy Idol. I had a poster of him in my room. Oh, this is the ticket. May 26, 1987. $22.75. How about that? Miss ya, Jeff. That was a fun show. Okay. Then, let's see, down somewhere in the lower reaches of this box set, there's an Ultravox song. Can't even find it now. But if Ultravox was punk, they were only punk for like a minute. You can probably see it on the screen. I can't, but anyway, Ultravox later went on to be, I think, best known as a new wave band. Midyear, the singer there, second singer of Ultravox after John Fox. He and Bob Geldof got together and created Band Aid, and they played at the Live Aid concert too, Ultravox. This is some of their greatest hits. Dancing with Tears in My Eyes, I think, was their most successful one, but all these are great. Sweeping new wave songs, kind of reminds me a lot of Talk Talk or Spandau Ballet. And then next on the set is Blondie, whose early work, I guess, was punky, punk adjacent, but they went on very quickly to other things. So here's their greatest album, I think, Parallel Lines. All-time classic. I like this reissue for the live songs. Bang a Gong, one of them. I think Blondie is often, I think, underappreciated, not recognized for what they did. Here's an album from back in the day, another one I held on to. This design is just so iconic. I've often thought of framing this, I just never have gotten around to it. So Blondie had all kinds of styles: disco, reggae, new wave, rock, punk, rap even. I think Rapture was the first rap song to reach #1 on the pop charts, with Debbie herself doing the rapping. So, one of my all-time favorites, kind of greatest hits here. And then Debbie Harry also had a solo career. This is well used. One's more into the Bleach is a compilation. Some of these are Blondie songs, some her own. Most of these are dance or dance versions. She was amazing in concert. At that show with the Ramones and the Sugar Cubes. I'll never forget, somebody gave her a bouquet of roses and she bit the petals off and spat them back out at the crowd. So just that, I guess, is a punk gesture. There she is wrapped in plastic. That's more of a new wave look, and you can see her style throughout this is mostly through to the mid or early 90s, I think. Okay, The Fall is another group that's on that box set. My friend Smitty, big fan of The Fall. And so because of him, I have this from iTunes. I like it a lot. Fall has an unbelievably prolific career. Mark E. Smith is the leader of The Fall. Was the leader. He passed away recently. But, God, they must have 50 albums. I don't know, maybe more. All with this defiance and raw power of a punk. Here's Boomtown Rats. Bob Geldof's band. My favorite songs from there is everyone I think knows I Don't Like Mondays. It's a very misunderstood song. It's not about what most people think it is. There's a great song on here, Someone's Looking at You. That's one I like a lot. And Diamond Smiles. Those I think are the two best Boomtown Rats songs. Great songs of indifference. The Slits, pioneering all-female group here, topless and caked in mud. But these three women had a short but very, very influential career. Scenes from the photo shoot, I think. Yes, no qualms about showing what they had there. And then this is an amazing CD from the Peel Sessions, a BBC radio show where they did these songs live in studio. I think this is 2 or 3 different sessions, but these songs up until FM are from this album, Cut. And then these other ones, they went into almost a world music direction, and part of their lineup included a young Nina Cherry. So you hear a lot of different sounds in these later songs. But Slits. Oh, that one's broken. And then here is Gang of Four. Entertainment. Classic album, reissued here. The original tracks and some bonus tracks. Gang of Four, like Wire, sound is very taut, tense. A lot of Rage Against the Machine, actually, I think, cites Gang of Four as a big influence. The funk influence creeping into the rock sounds of a lot of their stuff here. Okay, and then finish off here with other things from my media collection. This is a film, a documentary by Don Letts, who was in an associate or actually in the band sometimes of both The Clash and Big Audio Dynamite, a guy who was on the scene. And so this is his documentary of all that. There's Johnny Rotten from the Sex Pistols. Oh, if you're wondering where the Sex Pistols are, I made a separate video for them, so you can see all that if you haven't already. This is a zine. They used to call these zines. It's kind of Xeroxed or mimeographed fan magazines. That's what that's supposed to look like. So cool documentary there. Here's another one. This is there's a series of these. There was a series of these DVDs on different classic albums, how they were made, and discussions of them. There's interviews with the now aged members of the Sex Pistols. Some good performances on here. Some live stuff that I've never seen any other place. And a few books. This is an overview. It says post-punk, but it includes, of course, the tail end of the punk era. It's a well-researched, informative book that I liked. And this is a memoir from one of the members of the Slits, Viv Albertine. Got great stories to tell here, and yes, the title of this book is actually Close, 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 Music, 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 Boys, Boys, Boys. Viv is a very vivid storyteller. I enjoyed reading that. And then here's a book about the New York punk scene in the late 70s. So there's a lot of overlap there with the new wave scene emerging too. So it's called Love Goes to Buildings on Fire. It's a reference to a Talking Heads song. Another well-researched addition to the punk library that I have. And finally, the last artifact that I'll show you is this old, dirty, well, dirty because I wore it and haven't washed it yet. This is a t-shirt that I got at the Sex Pistols show that I went to in, I'm going to say, 05-ish. It was at the Hard Rock Hotel in Las Vegas, and this was a concert t-shirt. And it didn't it didn't come like this. It looked new when I got it, but I still have it and I still wear it. And I don't usually like to wear clothes with holes in them, but I think for this one it's entirely appropriate. So until this shirt actually falls off my body, I'll continue to wear it in tribute to what I think is really the quintessential and the greatest punk band of all, the Sex Pistols. Okay then, well, hope you enjoyed that stroll through my punk collection. Thanks for watching, and hope you liked it. If you do, click like, and I will be back soon.